So I don't know if you've heard of a little band called Sleep Token that I passionately love. Yo, Acrosite, thank you. Their drummer, Vessel 2, there's Vessel, then there's 2, and they're all vessels, did a Drumeo video. And I have seen the Vor playthrough, and I loved it. I love watching this guy drum, one of my favorite drummers. I was watching The Night Does Not Belong to God. I was like 7 seconds into it last week, and my internet crashed. But now we are going to Gods by Sleep Token. We're going to listen to the little interview part in front of it. And then we're going to listen to Gods by Sleep Token. I love this band. I love this drummer. This one is for Gumbo Jones. Let's listen to this interview part.
So over the 3 Sleep Token records, how has your playing evolved from the first to the last album?
I would say that, well, my stylistic approach and goals have generally stayed the same. My vocabulary on the kit has expanded.
I would say that watching him do that Vor playthrough, the amount of cymbals he's hitting.
Not always using the same phrases or using those phrases
say it a different
voicing to ensure the parts remain somewhat interesting. However, this in itself is a continual work in progress.
This reminds me of, I used to run a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I had a character that spoke in a certain way, so I'd have to interact with the party as this character, and I'd have to speak in this very like celestial way. And it's like he's doing an interview, and he's got the voice change and everything, but he also is playing the character. So because their whole thing is like using very little words and everything, he's definitely like, he's talking and he's saying his stuff, but it's through a filter. It's through the filter of Vessel 2, which is interesting.
As a player, I will admit that I, like others, don't always achieve this. But to me, that is very, very much all parts of the journey itself.
This is one of their older tracks. Be interesting to see if he uses less of the kit. Dude, is he literally wearing the shoes that I was just talking about getting? Are those slip-on all black Vans? Oh my god. Now I want him even more. Hit that synth pad. He's got an interesting part of his style where he does stuff with like slightly off time sometimes to add that kind of feel. And I know that he's doing it on purpose. He's incredibly talented. I noticed this when they played live, and in the summoning, he did this giant drum feel leading into the like sexy time outro, but it felt like it like didn't make it in time, almost as like he was off time. but I think that that's part of his style, is having that slow down speed up, so you get that like feeling in the drums. It's really, I think it's intentional, but it almost sounds like mistakes sometimes. It's really cool. It's just slight pauses. That snare, like double snare hit that comes in before it kicks, so good. I am gonna really miss this mask. So
As I
sick.
mentioned, I'm also a big fan of R&B and pop, which has worked its way into my playing. I grew up primarily playing metal, so the next obvious step for me was to blend these other styles in amongst heavier playing to add versatility to my drum parts.
All right. There it is. That was Gods, the Vessel 2 playthrough on Drumeo. Really, really interesting. I find with that song, probably I think Vor was more interesting of a drum playthrough to hear. And those are the two like heaviest songs from these guys. So it's great to see both. But even like he said, he is trying to do more with different elements of the kit. And when you see the amount of things he hits in Vor compared to what he hits in Gods, he's got the same style and flow and cool pauses and everything, but he's definitely using a limited part of the kit, and that's probably because they're a smaller band at the time, so he probably had a much smaller kit, whereas now they're Sleep Token. So yeah, it's cool, very cool to watch.